As manufacturers increasingly turn to industrial robots, workers in developing countries will be hit hardest. A new UN report warns. So far, automation has largely been introduced to automotive, electrical, and electronics industries, posing a risk to low-wage workers in Mexico and many countries in Asia, while workers in North America and other developed regions may also be affected by the shift. Developing countries could soon lose about two-thirds of all jobs and risk the exploitation of low-wage workers in areas robots have yet to master. The estimates come from a new report by the UN Conference on Trade and Development, which warns of the mixed benefits and risks of disruptive technologies. As many of these lower-skilled jobs had already disappeared in developed countries, the effect of automation and reshoring could bring about extreme losses in developing countries. The use of robots will reduce the value of human labor in these settings as they act as a close substitute for these workers, the report explains, putting many people out of jobs. The increased use of robots in developed countries risks eroding the traditional labor cost advantage of developing countries. The report says the share of occupations that could experience significant automation is actually higher in developing counties than in more advanced ones, where many of these jobs have already disappeared, and this concerns about two-thirds of all jobs. Automation could also cause developing countries to put more focus on jobs that robots are not yet capable of taking on, like garment making. In many labor-intensive industries, such as garment making, widespread automation is not yet suitable, the report explains. While robots have become cheaper, some developing countries continue to have a large pool of cheap labor. Thus, for those countries whose major challenge is to create jobs for a large number of low-skilled entrants to the labor force, such as in many parts of Africa, deploying robots under current cost structures many drive production costs up rather than down. The report comes just days after Tesla CEO Elon Musk claimed automation will soon cause global job displacement and the adoption of a universal basic income. The billionaire explained that our options may be limited in the future as automation becomes the norm, and this could even leave people with more time to enjoy their lives. Musk said humans will eventually need to achieve symbiosis with digital superintelligence in order to cope with the advancing world, but he warns doing this might be the toughest challenge of all. In an interview with CNBC, the CEO of Tesla, SolarCity, and SpaceX said certain jobs, like truck driving, may soon be lost to automated technologies, and with machines taking over the workforce, human income would shift as well, potentially necessitating universal payments from the government. There is a pretty good chance we end up with a universal basic income, or something like that, due to automation, Musk told CNBC. I'm not sure what else one would do with this. I think that's what would happen. Musk went on to explain that some people may have plans to do more complex and more interesting things with these capabilities in the future. This will open the door for more leisure time, he said, and then we have to figure out how we integrate with a world in the future with advanced AI. Musk told CNBC, noting that this will likely be the toughest part. Ultimately, he said, it would need to be some kind of improved symbiosis with digital superintelligence.